Bonjour everyone, welcome to another diecast showcase. Today is going to be showcase number 2 of 2025, and I thought for the occasion, since the first video release that I've uploaded on the channel is a Free It Friday type video with a bunch of finds and a bunch of cracking open some previously showcase and purchase diecasts, that I'd do an actual real showcase, and a showcase to show kind of like what I did with the carded Honda mainline collection, just slightly more expansive. Today, instead of doing a Japanese brand, we're going to go to one of the most legendary German brands, and probably the favorite German brand of a lot of car enthusiasts and diecast collectors alike, Porsche. So, rules I made for myself to determine which cars were going to be in this showcase is I am limiting myself to only 164 slash 3-inch diecast, all depending if it's true 164 or not. Mostly not. And they have to be still factory sealed within the package. So that means that there's going to be no loosies. There's going to be no premium diecast that I've taken out of the package before. And there's not going to be any other scale than about 3-inch. So no HO 187th scale, no 124th scale, no 143rd scale, or any other scale for that matter. Because I do have a few still factory sealed larger and smaller scale diecast for Porsche. So without further ado, because we got a lot to go through, more than with the Honda showcase, crack yourself a cold beverage, take a comfortable seat, and let the showcase begin. So since we're not limiting ourselves to Mattel, it is a majority of Mattel products, so I will start with Mattel, and I'll do exactly what I did with the Honda showcase, starting with Matchbox. And Matchbox does have a surprising amount of diecast. Now, I know for a fact that there's at least one Matchbox casting of a Porsche that I did not dig far enough into my storage to pick up, and that would be the 918 Spider that I do have in yellow, but do not fear, we will still get to check out a 918 Spider. So we'll start off with what I consider the least interesting cars that we're gonna check out today from Matchbox that are Porsches. Most recent Porsche acquired is this Matchbox Macan, very recent release. Believe this is only the second release of this Macan casting by Matchbox. First one being the Super Chase version in gray, which I never found. But yeah, midsize SUV, luxury sport luxury, however you want to see it. There's no specific trim indicated on oh yes, actually there is. This is a Macan S, as you can probably not make out from that trunk lid emblem. But yeah, very well detailed front and back, as Matchbox loves to do. Nice card art, and yeah, it's a 2022 model year. So that will be the first car we're checking out. Next, we'll jump into the Macan's bigger brother, which is the Porsche Cayenne. And this is a turbo model. It is not indicated which model year it is, but I do like the fact that since this is a release from last year, we've got that 75th anniversary Porsche logo that we will see quite a bit on the Hot Wheels products that we're going to be following up on after the Matchbox. So, bigger brother, nice metallic blue, very nice flake in that blue. The black twin 10-spoke wheels, and same amount of details front and back for this bad boy right here. Pretty darn heavy too. Despite the fact that it has a big panoramic roof, as does the Macan, which is more and more popular, not only because we see it more and more on production cars, but because it's a cost savings in regards to using less metal. Now, what I love about Matchbox, of course, and what makes me collect relentlessly when new waves are available in my area, is those really standard classic type cars that look so good and that Matchbox does so well. Point in case, this base 914 with the 2-liter 4-cylinder mid-mounted water-cooled 4 inline 4. So very basic Steelies details in the front. Well done with the gray insert that's part of the interior of this car, and same thing in the back. So just your basic no frills base model, and I believe this was the first road going mid-engined Porsche, although I could be wrong because this is a 71, and in the 60s rules were a little bit more relaxed when we're talking about what you could bring on the road or not. So yeah, there you go. That's my classic Porsche. This was built in collaboration with VW, so yeah, pretty cool car. I definitely like it. And I've got a couple of exemplars of this loose, but we won't talk about the loose stuff. We'll just check out what's carded. Next on the list, we have this 996 Porsche 911 Cabriolet. So Carrera, I'm assuming Carrera 2. Although it's not indicated Carrera 2 on the back. You know, obviously rear-wheel drive as opposed to Carrera 4, which is four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Beige interior, pearl white paint, which is great looking. Fair amount of details on the front, although the lower bumper could be used with some finishing touches. And good work on tampos on the back with the badging, the third brake light, the rear lights, of course, and could just use a dab of silver on the exhaust. But overall, very nice model with the now classic Matchbox 5 spokes. All right, speaking of white Porsches, this was one that got quite the hype, although it's one of a gazillion color releases that have been put out by Matchbox. Available in multi-packs and 5-packs and all kinds of packs, basically. This being the white version of their 997 GT3. So really nicely done. Nice details, front and back. Very good looking. Love the fact it has a license plate on there with the GT3 911 Euro plate. Black 5 spokes. And I mean, I've got a couple variations of this loose as well from multi-packs. And I've noticed that I also have the most recent multi-pack release for I believe it's Blue Highways or something like that, but yeah, we got a brown one that got released with the chrome twin 10 spokes, so that's definitely cool. Moving on to 992s. We got a couple releases of the 992s in 2024, including firstly this red Cabrio version with the gold twin 10 spokes. Again, nice details on the front. Nice details in the rear. I find personally the windscreen kind of gets washed out because of the fact that there's no contouring for the actual frame of the windscreen, but still very, very nice casting, very well done. And it's quite heavy for a convertible, in hand at least, so that's very cool. So that's definitely cool, but what's even cooler, at least in my opinion, one of Porsche's coolest models, if we're talking about 911s, the Targa. This one being a Targa 4, so not an S with the low pressure turbos on this one, as opposed to the 4S, which has the higher pressure turbos. And it's all-wheel drive, of course, which I believe now all Targas are. So same 992 generation as the previously viewed convertible, same wheel setup, but chrome instead of gold chrome, and pretty much same details front and rear as you would get on the convertible. And basically this probably was pretty cheap to do because of the fact that the roof is fully plastic, tinted plastic, which could definitely use some detailing because this is the generation that came back with the silver hoop for the Targa, which is definitely something that was on the original 911 Targa, and it's a great little piece of comeback design. All right, love the dark blue, by the way, on this. Way better than the red. Last Matchbox we're going to be checking out, definitely not the least. So the very coveted version of that 997 GT3, the Super Chase version of the GT3. And I think this is the only Chase we're going to be checking out, honestly. I don't think I have others. Yeah, so fully detailed. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Tampo Pass car with the wheels that personally I don't really like, although they are on rubber tires. The design is just like, it screams muscle car or like retro European car. This is not retro enough for these to fit super well, but hey, it's a Super Chase, it's a GT3, it's a 911. I mean, this is a great piece. I mean, personally, I love it, and I'm happy to have one. I actually found 2 of these, I believe, maybe 3, and the others that I got were used as trade bait, so definitely not letting go of this one, because this is the one on the best card that I managed to find. And these cards are not as sturdy, in my opinion, as Hot Wheels. It's got that brownish, very recycled paper type of backing, as opposed to the definitely lighter hued cardboard used on Hot Wheels. Speaking of Hot Wheels, we're jumping right into Hot Wheels because this is going to be a long one and I don't want to spend too much time on each casting. So on the Hot Wheels side, there's a little bit more variety if we're talking about what was released. And one piece that everybody loved and is very, very cool, not quite a car, but obviously the 911 Carrera keychain, which is literally a solid chunk of metal. And you know, kind of emulates the original 2.7 Carrera RS with that lower stripe and all that good stuff. So I do have on my keychain the actual white and blue version at the current time, which is pretty cool. Fun to lug around. It's my favorite color combo for the 911 2.7 RS. So this is a great one to have on card. And, you know, goes well with the original coupe clip release in Raw Zamac, just like this is. So that's definitely cool. Next, we're going to be looking at the only cartoony version of the 911 or Porsche for that fact that I have in the collection in this scale. And we're talking about the beautiful tuned 911 Turbo 3.6, so the 964 generation. So a late 964 Turbo just before the 993 was released as last of the air-cooled, and went to twin turbo and all-wheel drive as well as a 6-speed manual. So this is still single turbo, still 5-speed, still rear-wheel drive, hence its Widowmaker namesake, which a few Porsches have actually carried. So got details front and back, very well done. And I do have the second release in Amethyst Metallic of the same casting. But yeah, that one has the clear turn indicators, whereas this one has the orange one. So this is really the same spec as you would find in the movie, the first movie, Bad Boys, with Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. So that's pretty cool. Next, we're going to go into the, you know, the models that are more or less interesting to me, but are still noteworthy. So we have first and foremost the Taycan Turbo S of Porsche's first EV. And yeah, it's pretty nice, pretty nice in this nice red. This is the first release, and I did get one in a multi-pack in that really cool, like kind of an acid green. So I love green cars. That one's loose, so this one's going to stay carded, and it is the first release out of the Hot Wheels Green Speed Porsche Taycan. So one of the best EVs currently available for sale. Next, we're gonna go from full electric to hybrid. Still part of the Green Speed. My favorite color release of the Porsche Panamera Turbo SE Hybrid Sport Turismo. One of the longest name ever to adorn a Hot Wheels card. As you can see, the script goes the full length of the bubble. So yeah, pretty long name. I think this is ex aequo with the blue release of this cast with some blue PR5s, which is kind of really cool. But this one just looks like stock, you know, how you'd see it on the street. It's got the bare minimum if we're talking about tampo work, just what we need, and the front lights are actually part of the glass portion of the casting. So cool, hybrid, fast wagon. So yeah, just bear with me a quick second here while I get rid of my cat's whatever she's playing with here, because it's kind of annoying. Yeah, go play somewhere else. Go play somewhere else. It's enough. All right, sorry about that. All right, and last hybrid we're going to be checking out if we're talking about Porsches all together, all brands combined. 918 Spider as promised, but this is the Hot Wheels version. This, I believe, is a 2017 release. Yeah, 2017 licensing, so 2018 release. In the clean silver, black interior, and the black 10 spokes. Very nice. Oh, actually, I know why the 918 Spider Matchbox is in there. I had cracked it open because I have the Hot Wheels. That's why it's not in the actual. Actually, I think the only Hot Wheels mainline I do not have on hand right now is because it's really deeply buried in my storage. And it's the first release of the 944 Turbo, which is stored with the first release of the FCRX7. Both of them in red, and just to show off how they're so similar in styling. So I always keep those together. It's probably one of my favorite mainline diecast duos. So, but yeah, don't worry, we'll see a couple of 944s if ever that's your favorite Porsche. I mean, I know I love them. So, all right, now we're gonna check out a couple of my favorite generation 911s, of which I have most variations if we're talking about the basic version. And we're talking about the 96 Porsche 911 993 Carrera. So Carrera 2, very, very cool casting. This one is one of the, I'd say, later version, before the latest version that we're going to see a little bit later actually came out. I did not get the alternate white with the reverse deco on this, because I really like the white aero disc and white lower body deco, how that looked. You do lose the light tampos, front and rear, for this kind of livery. But, I mean, I have pretty much every clean version of this without the deco and with just the light tampos. I mean, I've got white, yellow, black, with the only one that came out with 5 spokes. And the only one I don't have, I think, is baby blue with the white PR5s. Which is kind of a shame because I did see it on the pegs a couple times, but I decided not to pick it up because I had a bunch of these. So, but yeah, so pretty cool. Part of the Hot Wheels Dream Garage. Assuming this is probably based on a real car. Well, at least a real car with this livery. But I would have to do some research to actually know. You know, it did come out about 4 years ago at this point on the pegs. 5 years ago if we're talking about licensing. So, and also, we got a couple of one of Hot Wheels' well, at least one of my favorite castings from Hot Wheels. We got a couple releases fairly recently of the 993 GT2. So we have it here in red. I have the same exact one in the alternate colorway of white. I do not have any older ones carded. I wish I had the super of this in the dark blue that it came out with originally. But yeah, I don't. So this one also has lens fronts. Has that go faster stripe on the side and on the front. You can see the little air vent, which kind of shows this would be a CS model. Please bear with me a couple seconds. Okay, all right, go over there. Stop playing with that. There you go. Yeah, so my cat actually found one of the little wooden balls there that you can make necklaces with out of one of my daughter's little do-it-yourself bracelet / necklace kits. So she's having a lot of fun there, but we'll cut that short. All right, next up, we're going to look at a couple of GT3s. So basically, we've got, first and foremost, This T-Fox liveried GT3 RS. This would be the 991. So no rear decals because of the livery, obviously, which carries over to the side winglets of that big wing, which is really cool. Not sure what these wheels are called there, but they look pretty good. I find suit the model pretty well, and they're gold lipped, so they match the livery. Still retains the lensed fronts. And yeah, pretty cool livery. I know this is styled after a real car, and part of the Hot Wheels exotics, which is pretty appropriate because GT3 RS, I mean, I wouldn't consider necessarily exotic, but I mean, it's rare enough that, you know, you see one on the street, you're going to look as much as an exotic at it. And yeah, real ring tool, track tool, you know, a weapon. Love it. Very cool. Very cool livery too. They're definitely different. And if you prefer a cleaner version and also a later version, well, this was a banger when it came out. I believe this was last year or the year before. Oh, shoot, we're going on year 3 since it's been released. License 2021. So 2022 on the pegs. The current generation of the 991, the 992 GT3, and a just clean livery. Nice tampo work, front and back. Nicely done. Black Y5s, you know, just clean. And that beautiful, what is it called? This color. Shoot, I don't remember. It's not Miami blue. Miami blue is way lighter than that. Either way, it's Porsche's equivalent of basically Nogaro blue from Audi. But yeah, it looks so good, so clean. You know, black top. It's just nice. It's just so nice. So happy to have that one in the collection, and I do have the matte black one as well. That's loose. So they can keep these coming. I'll pick up every single one of them. I'm looking forward to the D-Case black version with the gold script, because that'll go really well with it. As Lamley showed off in his, or mentioned in his showcase for D-Case with the multi-pack exclusive 911, early 911, the 71. It has the same livery, so can't wait to see that. Next up, we've got 2 color variations, and I believe these are the 2 first color variations of the infamous 911 Carrera RS 2.7, the first RS car. So I believe these are the first 2. We got the white with the black stripe and the orange with the black stripe, subsequently released in red, which I never picked up because, and also in yellow, which I do have loose and I have detailed up slightly. So these are definitely classics. You cannot, you can actually not go, you know, can't go wrong with these. Oh my God, kitty. Huh? Can't stay quiet, can you? Alright. Sorry about that. She found another one. Insufferable kitten. I swear to God. Alright. So, back to our business at hand. We've got next a classic racer that I won't spend too much time on because I showcased it not too long ago. Recently released, late 2024 release of the 904 Carrera GTS. You know, have the red one loose now. This one is really, really good looking. I believe this is a deco that emulates a real period race car, if I'm not mistaken. I just find it kind of weird that it's part of the Hot Wheels exotics, whereas, you know, it could be part of retro racers or something of the sort. But yeah, really nice casting. And yeah, something a little bit different here, and I like the fact that this is kind of like the third release of this this type of car. So all the Porsche Safaris are really cool in my opinion. Very different, very usable though. So we got the 914 Safari, which is the older, less powerful Porsche Safari. Although it's probably 6-cylinder swapped, I'm assuming, because otherwise it's going to be tall and It's going to be slower than the already slow original, part of the Nightburners. Yeah, this is the first release in yellow. I did pick it up also in white, but I ended up selling it because I kind of just thought the yellow fits so well. And I love the fact that the top pass actually details out some of the equipment we got on there, in addition to putting that number 5 meatball on the front. So very cool, definitely very cool. Then we got the release of the 928 Safari, which is really cool. 928S, early model, if I base myself on the rear lights. Yet again, then again, on the card art, it does have later lights that are not the same really as the ones on the bumper, which look older, like multi-piece as opposed to just a big piece plus a turn signal. But I could be wrong. But, you know, again, very cool, very different, because these are heavy. You know, rear-wheel drive V8s, right? So, and the most current one, which everybody loves, the 911 Rally, based on the 992, and with kind of like a reinterpretation of the Rothmans livery that was famous for the Le Mans cars and whatnot. And we'll actually get to see another version of re-engineered tobacco brand that cannot be put on toy cars, which I kind of get it. I mean, kind of normal. You know, you don't want your kids asking you, what does that mean? And then it's kind of weird to explain to them. Now, obviously, Porsche is a huge name in car culture, like huge name, and I think one of the biggest, what's the word I'm looking for? One of the biggest endorsers of Porsche being part of car culture is, without a doubt, Magnus Walker with his Urban Outlaw brand. So we got a release of this really not too long ago. This is a car that Magnus actually made a video on his channel on, showing all the releases of his cars with his real 1-to-1 scale cars that, you know, they're emulated from. This one being one that he showcased upon release. So it was pretty cool to see it, you know, just dropped on the front fender, you know, well, not dropped, I mean, he put it on the fender to show it off. So that's kind of cool. I really do like that. And again, it's a 993. Personally, my favorite gen of Porsche with the 964, because that's what I grew up with, last of the air-cooled Porsches. So just a really cool use of a casting that already existed to emulate a real car that Magnus actually owns. So that's great. And of course, I've got a few other Magnus Walker cars. Now, I told you that I don't have on hand the red first release of the 994. At least I do have the Urban Outlaw version of the 944 Turbo, which is right here. Obviously, with the deco. Oh, and this card is extremely dusty because this has been on display for, well, pretty much ever since I picked it up from the store. But because of the livery on the car, you do not have the front and rear tampo passes, which you do get on the plainer models, like the gold one that I do have loose. Of course, the red one as well that I do have on cards somewhere in here. Then we can jump right into the this was actually re-released with different wheels not that long ago, and that I already have loose, same color combo. Well, actually, it's a reverse color combo, but I'll get into that in a second once I get all this dust off the car, the bubble. The 71 911, which I did mention, is out of the Nightburners, and number 277 is Magnus' probably most iconic car. And this, you'll notice, has a red base with a blue frunk and a blue engine cover. And there was a color variation which was reversed with a blue base and the red and red apertures front and rear. Now I did not pick up both because I did not feel like having color variation that's more or less a color variation, but I had to have one of these. And the cool thing is the later release with the different wheels, it actually is the reverse with the red top and blue bottom. So cool thing to have and cool thing to know as well. Either way, I have another color variation in a different series of that same car. And basically to show you the difference on the get-go, but with a different casting. And this one, I don't know if they had several, to those two variations on this specific casting. But when this was, I don't know if it's a re-release or an actual release of a different cast or a revised cast, but this is one of the most infamous Porsche race cars of the 1970s, and we are talking about the 935, the old one, not the new one, the old one, basically. Oh yeah, and I just realized I think I only have the new version of this car loose, because I think I only have two versions, one being the blue one and the other being the black and gold being my favorite release of this cast. But either way, we got the 935. Again, you've got the lensed rears, lens fronts, and you'll see blue base, red top on this one. So reverse color scheme versus the 71. Last Magnus Walker car we're going to check out, at least in the main line, is another legend. And what's cool, it's kind of like the hybrid with the G50 cars and that 935 race car. Oh no, this one actually is not. It's actually really the summit of the G50 cars. Although I'm not sure it had a G50 gearbox per se. We've got the Magnus Walker Porsche 934 Turbo RSR. Definitely one of my favorite Porsche castings from Hot Wheels. It always looks good on the lace wheels, which are same diameter, thank God. And yeah, this one's in a nice gray, kind of like that 944 basically, with the 934 on the door. Very, very cool. Definitely like this one. And yeah, again, I've had these since release. Like this one's from literally 2016 on the pegs. I picked it up brand new when it was on the pegs. So we're going on, yeah, it's going to be 10 years since that casting was licensed, which is great. Or actually that version of the casting, because I have an early one in orange as well. But that one's loose, so that's why we're not seeing it today. Last of the kind of what I like to call kind of pop culture Porsches, if we're talking about liveries, would be, well, obviously, there's one car that's legendary in this livery, movie star, and a star motorsport highlight and star of the, again, early 1970s, and that would be the Porsche 917 LH in the infamous Gulf livery, as seen in the movie Le Mans with Steve McQueen. I mean, this thing is just like epic. It's not the best casting of this car, and I mean, I do have a majorette version, actually two, in red and in blue, with like kind of like real liveries with less sponsors, and they're not much better, honestly. So you really have to go into premium diecast to get a good version of this. Namely, Sparky does a really good job on these. Fortunately, I do not have any Sparky diecast in my collection. And more recently, 4 years ago soon, got this thing popping up on the pegs, the 356 Outlaw, again in the Golf livery. Pretty cool. Aero discs are meh, but the casting overall is really cool. I have a bunch of versions of this casting in different liveries. It's had so many multi-pack exclusive liveries. I mean, probably at least 4 at this point in time. And I mean, never gets old, And next wave to me, at least, current wave to some people, as I've seen on the gram, there's an Ultra Hots version that is actually going to be available, which is kind of cool. And yeah, so now to finish off the Hot Wheels kind of like mainline-ish cars, I thought I'd go with a few special series cars that have popped up into the collection over time. First one is the 55th anniversary black and gold satin release anniversary series car with a really, really cool card with a top view of this 993 GT2. I can't get enough of this casting. Every time they release one, I'm picking it up as if I find it. So this is another one. This one has a lens front, which is great because the front basically looks kind of complete as opposed to the rear that looks really bare. Although the fact they put a gold base on there gives it a gold exhaust, red interior, which matches the livery really well, and gold wheels to finish it off. So nice little anniversary car right there. Not going to complain about having this one in the collection, that's for sure. And I was very happy to find this little thing. Forza liveried 996 point. Well, actually, you know what? This is a 996.1 GT3, and on the card it's a 996.2 GT3, which you can notice with the lights that are they look like kind of kidney bean shaped, whereas they're more rounded out towards the bottom after complaints on the styling of the first wave 996s in 1999, sorry. And Porsche did kind of like a facelift in 2001 to try and temper the comments. Now, this version is cool because it has rear tampos and, you know, the front lights are lens, it has the Porsche logo, and it's got a top pass, 2 side pass, so it's a 4-pass car technically. So pretty much same thing as a semi-premium. I believe this was somewhat of maybe a Walmart exclusive for the US. We get these at our Toys R Us as well as the Walmarts. So yeah, this took a while to stumble upon this, but I mean, at a certain point, my local Toys R Us just got like swarmed with these left and right, front and center. And I mean, this is better detailed than the semi-premium Fast and Furious 10-pack release with the blue one. So it's pretty cool. Now, I did mention Ultra Hots earlier on. So we've got that 356 Outlaw that's coming out. But so far, we've only gotten 2 other ones, at least to my knowledge. Correct me if I'm wrong here. So in the... this would be the second wave or the first wave. Is this the first wave? No, this is definitely the second wave of Ultra Hots. We got this 934.5, which what I was alluding to before for the 934. Difference again between the 934 and 934.5 is that the 0.5 does have the 935 rear wide body wing, and it's much more powerful than the 934, while retaining the 930 turbo front end, or the 934 RSR front end, should I say. So this one's really cool. I would love it tampoless, but I mean, I don't want to open it because it's so good. The color is so good. I love the Spectra Flame bronze on this. The gold Ultra Hots look good on it. Period seems period correct. And we got a nice surprise with the, I don't even know, this 4th or 5th or maybe 4th or 5th wave of Ultra Hots. We got the full-on 935-78, so the 1978 version, which is a little bit later than the Magnus Walker one that I showed you. And this is the one that they call the Moby Dick, because it's super long, and it does look kind of like almost aquatic style lines to make it as aerodynamic as possible for the late 70s. So it's got the deeper front air intakes, the side recessed front lights, and the longer tail on the back that really does probably help aerodynamism. Staggered gold Ultra Hots once again, and this one is in Bear Zamac, which is probably my favorite finish for Ultra Hots. So yeah, definitely a cool one. Was happy to find that one, definitely. Last Hot Wheels we're actually gonna check out, if we're talking about non-premium Hot Wheels, is going to be my only Silver Series car or Porsche. Sorry, should I say? I have other Silver Series, but the Porsche specifically is the only one I had on hand. It's another 944 Turbo. Definitely a very nice rendering. Love the card art on this series. Very, very kind of like retro, but you know, still groovy. Love the wheel choice on these because these look kind of like 3D SM wheels that are inspired by the Speedline wheels you would have seen an example on a Ferrari F40 or Testarossa or 288 GTO. They're just so good. It's so good. You know, it's got a very faint front liver. Actually, it's because it's got a metal base, this one, and it's actually got some little protectors so you can barely see, but I mean, you can see the rear details better, I guess. But they've already done the front details on the premium ones very, very dark, which I don't really like, honestly. But hey, you know, could be worse, right? Could be worse. So, we've got a little Silver Series 944. How about we jump into the premiums now? Some premium Hot Wheels, to be precise, for now. I've got a few Porsches in premium. We'll start off with some of the pop culture stuff. Now, when this came out, I remember definitely a lot of people were going nuts, namely Mr. Derek at Honest Diecast. The Forza Motorsport 911 GT3 RS, the 991. I mean, lizard green or some type of green, signal green, you know, lime green, acid green, whatever it is, green. It's green. I love it. You know, and it's pretty much all factory except for the fact that it has that Forza Motorsport logo on the door. Nothing on the top except for the spoiler, which you can't see from the side. And tampo work is great. And of course, Don Premium, Real Riders, metal on metal. You know the drill. So yeah, that's definitely a very cool one. Very, very cool one. Another pop culture release that's a little bit more recent would be the first release of the 930 Turbo for Cyberpunk 2077, which was recently re-released. This is the first release, which is 2021 copyright date, 2022 on the pegs. Going on 3 years that this has been out, and it's been just released in late 2024. So if you didn't have the chance first time, well, you got another chance to pick it up now. So very, very cool. Very, very cool. I definitely love it. Yeah, just, again, pop culture. Gotta love pop culture. And I think the last pop culture car per se that we're going to be looking at is going to be this is a series from 2020 license, 2021 on the pegs, and it's that Porsche 962 with the racing instead of Rothman's livery. Very well done. And the Aerodis Real Riders look great on there. You know, no complaints. Looks really good. Looks really, really good, and it's part of Gran Turismo set. This, when it was released, had a Mazda 787B that goes with it on a white card. So I do have that one as well, and I believe I showed it in the Best in Pairs videos that I've done in the past. So yeah, we got this. Before we fall into the regular series cars, there's one last one that's going to be to me, almost pop culture, kind of like a pop culture / car culture hybrid, and it would be this guy here, the 917 Cayman GT4 out of Fast and Furious. So first release of this casting in clean white with some black detailing throughout. Definitely a nice cast, and I know that there was one that was released in a 2-pack, which if I do find the 2-pack, I'm going to be releasing this one probably. Although I'm not sure if I would prefer opening the twin pack, because it does come with a 993 GT2 Redux of the old Boulevard one, which, holy moly, I do love that one. Yeah, next up, we're going to go into the series, the different series of cars. So obviously, you mentioned Boulevard. You can't have a premium Hot Wheels showcase without at least one Boulevard car, and the one that I have in the collection that is still carded is number 28, the Porsche 964. So, favorite gen Porsche 911 series with the 993. So, love this. Absolutely love this. Two-tone green, kind of like a retro looking livery on a young timer. I mean, just like old timer would be like a vintage car. This is more like a modern classic type of car, because I mean, started in '89, the 964, so it's not that old. Well, I mean, if you're 12, it is, but you know, if you're a bit older, it's not that old, you know. So yeah, it's a good livery. I do have the Magnus Walker version of this car as well, loose. But this one's really, really good. Really, really good. Number 28 came out in 2020 license, 2021 release. So that's definitely cool. We've got next, which other one? Which is the next one we're going to check out? We've got, let's see. Oh, might as well check this one out, because I mean, you know, since we're talking about car culture versus pop culture, you know, I do have the premium version out of the door slammers of the Magnus Walker number 277 car, and this is a reverse of the main line we checked out. This thing is really, really nice, especially paired with the Boulevard T1 slammed microbus or van. It's just good. It's really, really good. Again, lens rears. Got some deco on the front, and this one's full tampo, obviously, since it's premium, so no skimping out on the lights or anything of that nature like the mainline unfortunately got for the front end. And yeah, same wheels as the 964 we just checked out, those kind of like Fat Fives, smaller diameter, which looks great on this, and I like it. I just like this a lot. A lot of Magnus Walker in the Porsche collection, but I mean, it's kind of inevitable. Next up, we've got, out of a more recent series, the Canyon Warriors. We've got this really cool 944 Turbo. Again, the 89 model. It's the same basis as the Silver Series one that we checked out, except, well, obviously this one's premium, so it has real riders. But the detail level is pretty much the same, except this one doesn't have a stripe. It's a little bit more, you know, it's got a nice metallic dark blue color. It's got the same wheels again as the two previous cars we just checked out, I believe, with the chrome lip, and that makes it look a lot like Fuchs wheels, which is great. Yeah, just a great release. Love this car. Really, really love this car. So at least we got to check out a mainline, Silver Series, and no, well, this was just before they went to the Gold Series thing, you know. This came out, what, 22? Yeah, 22 licensed, 23 on the pegs, so it's pretty recent. Pretty recent. A little, slightly less recent, but still pretty recent. This came out at the same time as, same year as those door slammers, the first Deutschland design with the 959, and this kind of like rally test car homologation special. I mean, it's just awesome. It's got the little bunny ears on the back there. It's, you know, this thing when it came out in this is an 86. When this thing came out, I mean, it was the original, almost the original hypercar. Twin turbo, 6-speed manual, all-wheel drive. You know, 2.8 or 2.9 liter flat six, pushing out 400 horsepower plus. I mean, it was pretty much the most technologically advanced sports car that made it a supercar, basically, you know. So yeah, this is definitely a cool one. I do not have the there's a fake Rothman liveried one that did come out in another series that was mostly 4x4s. It had like namely one I'd love to get is that the police liveried third gen Bronco. That's something I really like to get. But yeah, they had another version of this, but with like a Rothman look-alike. And this ran in the Paris Dakar, so it's a legit rally car, which is really cool. So I love that. Love that. It's definitely a great car, and Deutschland design card art is just so cool. It's like kind of retro-ish, but not that retro. And last premium single for Hot Wheels, probably my favorite one out of the premiums that we just checked out. Oh yeah, definitely. Is out of the Thrill Climbers series, which is an awesome set. One of my favorite premium sets ever to come out from Hot Wheels. The 934.5 again, but in this really, really, really cool livery. Same livery as would adorn the 914 Safari mainline that we checked out. I'm not going to try and pronounce the name because it's a German name, but you can take a gander on right next to the 77 there. It's that. Yeah, I don't have any skills in German, so, and I don't want to massacre it necessarily, but this looks so good, so good. Looks like a Pikes Peak car, and you know, just the card art looks like Pikes Peak. And look at the cars in this series. I mean, look at this. Classics, all of them. Well, I mean, this is not a classic, but this is a crazy car, the Volkswagen IDR, which I don't have a representative. I purposely did not pick it up when this series came out. I did pick up all the other ones though. And when was this? 2020, so 2021. Going on 4 years already. Jeez, time flies, eh? Time flies. Now we're going to check out team transports I have that are Porsche themed. Not to worry, there's not a whole lot, and I don't have a whole lot of them. But number one would be this Porsche 356 Outlaw with the T1 pickup, which is great. They did a Momo version, a Mooneyes version also with the classic bug. This one has the Momo livery, silver with black, which is really cool. You know, it's not the most coveted team transport, but the 356 and Outlaw, after they started doing like full detailing on the premiums post 2017, I mean, it's just a very complete, great wheel setup, both for the T1 as well as the 356. I mean, what's not to love? This is a great piece. Then more recently released, and one that I really like, although it is a hell of a peg warmer, the 906 Carrera 6 with the infamous flat 6 engine, Le Mans car. The one of the most durable cars to run at Le Mans, obviously, with the, I mean, obviously, you know, the race assistance team logo on this more modern looking truck more or less fits, but I mean, they only really have a early 60s era team transport truck, so I mean, I kind of understand why they went that route, but still, you can make a nice little team with the similar liveried T1 van out of Deutschland Design and the Boulevard Mark 1 VW Caddy as well, so that's pretty awesome. Going into some older releases that I really like, and a legit Momo livery one, the 962 with the Fleet Flyer. These look pretty period correct together, maybe truck being a little bit newer than the car. Or, no, not even. They pretty much look period correct. They fit together. There was also a shell release of this, a re-liveried one with the shell. I never picked that one up because I was content with my Momo one. Kind of regret it because I could have cracked the shell one open at this point, because I wouldn't have wanted to crack the Momo one open. It's just more desirable in my eye. But yeah, that's pretty cool. And of course, my favorite team transport with a Porsche. I don't think anybody will be surprised about this one, because I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that has this as their favorite Porsche themed team transport. So I'm just getting the dust off of this thing because it's incredibly dusty, because it's been on display ever since I got it, which is when it came out, got this one off the pegs, luckily for me, would be this RWB Porsche 930 on the Aerolift. And this has got such a cool JDM vibe to it. It's purple, which is a color I love for cars. And I mean, you can't hate on this. You know, this is Nakai's own, Stella Artois type body kit, but redone in purple. And I mean, it's great. I absolutely adore it. I absolutely love it. And I do not have actually, yeah, I do have the black silhouette one, but it's loose. All right. And we're going to be finishing off with a quatuor of off-brand cars, non-Mattel products, basically. So we're going to go through these pretty quickly. We're going to finish off with a kind of a then and now from Majorette. Then we had another RS 2.7 Carrera, and this mustard yellow with the black accents and the really, really well reproduced Fuchs wheels. Opening engine cover with that 2.7 flat 6. Fully detailed lens fronts, and this has got suspension, and it is awesome, although it is slightly larger than 1/64th scale. Scale normally on these is actually on the base. So, and the now, this mint green 991 GT3 Cup 992 generation, which is great because this is the only Cup version I have for now of the 992, all brands considered, and it's got one of my favorite Majorette wheels for a race car. Those twin 6-spokes with the little lip, and love the mint green color. And to end this Porsche showcase, of course, I could not leave out the only two cars that I still have, I think, sealed almost, of the little flip and die cast haul from a while ago. The duo of Schuco X Tarmac Collab 64 991 RSR 3.8 of the 964 generation, and the 911 GT2. This is a Club Sport version of the 993. These are my two favorite Porsches in the collection, and they are definitely my two favorite Porsches because of the colorway, which I expressed when I actually showed these. White, plain-bodied race versions with gold BBS LM wheels. What's not to love? So that concludes our Porsche carded showcase in 1/64th or thereabouts scale. Hopefully you enjoyed. Kudos if you stayed with me throughout the whole video. And on that, I'll let you go. Hopefully you have an excellent rest of your day, afternoon, evening, or night. Happy hunting. Stay safe out there. And I will catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.